Most men spend their lives trying to impress women with money, looks, or charm. But what if that's not really what creates lasting attraction? What if the secret lies in something deeper, psychological triggers that women may not even be aware of themselves? Today, we're exploring 10 powerful psychological principles that will change the way you understand attraction and help you build more meaningful connections with women. Let's dive in. Number 1, emotional stability. Is magnetic? Let's start with something foundational, emotional stability. Now here's a myth we need to clear up right away. Yes, women tend to be emotionally intuitive, but that doesn't mean they're emotional all the time or irrational. It means they're tuned into emotional energy. They notice subtle shifts in tone, mood, and body language. They feel when something is off, when someone is anxious, or when someone's energy is erratic, and they respond to it, consciously or unconsciously. That's why emotional stability in a man is such a rare and powerful trait. Imagine this. Life throws curveballs. There's pressure, stress, challenges. In those moments, the emotionally stable man doesn't spiral, he doesn't lash out. He doesn't blame, he breathes. He listens, he handles the situation with calm confidence. To a woman, that calmness is magnetic. It signals safety, it signals strength, and most importantly, it signals maturity. The kind of presence she can rely on when life gets messy. Now contrast that with a man who's easily triggered, who gets moody, withdrawn, defensive, or overly clingy when things go wrong. That creates emotional tension, and over time it erodes trust and attraction. So what can you do? Ask yourself, can I stay calm when plans fall apart? Do I listen before reacting? Can I regulate my emotions instead of making someone else responsible for them? This doesn't mean you have to be emotionless. But emotional stability means being the anchor, not the storm. When you carry that kind of presence, women feel it, even if they can't always explain it. And that kind of presence, it builds a connection that's hard to walk away from. Number 2, we chase what's not easy to get. Let's talk about something rooted deep in human psychology: scarcity and value. We're wired to want what feels rare, what's not immediately available, and what requires effort to earn. That's why luxury items are desirable. That's why people obsess over limited time offers. And in relationships, that same principle applies. Here's the truth. We value what doesn't give itself away too easily. When a man is too available too soon, constantly texting, always free, dropping everything instantly, it can come off as needy or desperate, even if his intentions are good. Why? Because it sends a subtle message. My time isn't valuable. I don't have strong boundaries. I need your attention to feel okay. But when a man has purpose, when he has passions, priorities, a full life he's already committed to, and he chooses to make time for someone, not because he's desperate for connection, but because he wants genuine companionship. That's attractive. It creates mystery, it sparks intrigue, and most of all, it makes her feel like your attention actually means something, because it's not given to just anyone, at any time. So how do you embody this trait without playing games? Simple. Have a life you're proud of, even when you're single. Don't drop your goals or schedule just to chase someone's affection. Don't overshare everything on day one. Leave space for curiosity to grow. And most importantly, learn to enjoy your own company. When you do this, you send a quiet, confident message. I'm whole on my own. I want connection, but I don't need it to feel complete. And that confidence, it's like gravity. Number 3, deep voice, strong presence. There's something primal about the sound of someone's voice. In fact, research across psychology and evolutionary biology consistently finds that a deep, calm voice is often associated with confidence, maturity, and trustworthiness. It's not about sounding like a movie trailer narrator. It's about tone, pace, And control, a voice that isn't rushed, a voice that doesn't crack under pressure, a voice that's measured and calm, even in tension, naturally commands respect. Why? Because it signals that the person speaking is grounded, and grounding energy is magnetic, especially to someone seeking emotional connection and safety. But let's zoom out. Voice is only one part of a bigger force, your presence. And presence, that's a game changer. Strong presence is felt before you say a single word. It's in how you carry yourself, your posture, tall, relaxed, open, your eye contact, steady, not staring, your movement, calm, intentional, unhurried. It's the way you enter a room like you belong there, not arrogantly, but with quiet certainty. Think about the most charismatic people you've met. It's not just what they say, it's how they exist in space. It's how they make people feel. Want to be attractive without trying too hard. Don't just work on what you say, master how you show up. Because when your voice and body are in sync, calm, confident, and grounded, that's when presence becomes power. Number 4, the power of walking away. This one is simple, but deeply misunderstood. Knowing when to walk away is more powerful than any clever line, smooth move, or strategic text. Why? Because it speaks to the core of who you are, your self-respect. Here's a harsh truth. When someone knows you'll tolerate anything just to keep their attention, your value drops. Not because you aren't worthy, but because you're acting like you're not. On the flip side, when you're willing to walk away from drama, disrespect, or emotional games, it sends a powerful message. I don't need to chase you to feel valuable. I know my worth. And that kind of mindset, it's rare, it's attractive, it's powerful. Let's be clear, walking away isn't about manipulation. It's not about teaching someone a lesson or playing hard to get. It's about boundaries. It's about saying, I want connection, but not at the cost of my peace. I care, but I won't compromise my self-respect to win someone over. I'm open to love, but I'm not afraid to let go if it means protecting my energy. That level of self-possession, that's what creates real respect, not just from others, but from yourself. Because when you walk away from what doesn't serve you, you create space for what does, and that is deeply attractive, not just romantically, but in every part of life. Number 5, a man with a mission is her kryptonite. Let's make something clear. A woman's deepest attraction isn't just triggered by good looks, wealth, or even charm. Those can spark interest, but they don't hold it. What truly captivates her? Purpose. When a man is driven by something bigger than himself, whether it's building a business, pursuing a creative dream, or relentlessly sharpening a skill, he radiates something different. Focus, discipline, direction. Purpose gives a man depth. It pulls him forward. It shapes how he spends his time, who he surrounds himself with, and what he stands for. And here's the twist that most men miss. The more you center your life around a woman, the less attractive you become. Why? Because she doesn't want to be the sun you orbit around. She wants to join a man who's already moving, who has a mission, a fire, a direction, someone she can support, not someone she has to carry. This doesn't mean you ignore her or put your goals above your relationship. It means you bring her into a life that already has meaning. So ask yourself, what am I building? What lights me up when no one's watching? Am I waiting for her to give me purpose? Or am I already walking my own path? Because if you're not chasing something greater, you come off as directionless, and directionless is never attractive. Not to someone looking for a strong partner, a man with a mission. That's her kryptonite. Number 6, the paradox of controlled vulnerability. Here's something most guys get confused. Yes, women want emotional connection, but no, they don't want to be your emotional dumping ground. This is where the power of controlled vulnerability comes in. Controlled vulnerability means you're open, honest, and real, without becoming emotionally dependent. The strongest men know how to reveal themselves in layers. They share after they've processed their emotions, not while they're drowning in them. It's the difference between saying, I've been struggling with something, but I've been working through it, versus, I don't know what to do, I'm falling apart, help me fix this. That first version shows strength, self-awareness, and depth. The second, it puts emotional pressure on the other person, and no one wants to feel like your therapist. So here's the key: don't bottle everything up. That creates disconnection. Don't overshare too soon. That creates overwhelm. Share intentionally, with calm, clarity, and trust. Reveal yourself slowly. Let her earn your truth over time. Because when vulnerability is grounded in emotional stability, it becomes one of the most attractive forces there is. It shows that you're not just surface level. It shows that you're human, but also in control. That combination of depth and balance is what builds emotional intimacy, not just chemistry. Number 7, women will test you, don't flinch here. It's something that most men don't realize. Women test men all the time. Now, this isn't some covert manipulative strategy. It's instinct. It's about emotional security, safety, and trust. She's checking your emotional strength. She's seeing if you can handle the pressure. So what does that look like? Maybe she'll challenge your opinion. Maybe she'll act distant or cold for a bit. Or maybe she'll question your confidence. Why? Because she's testing to see if you'll flinch under pressure. She wants to know if you'll fold or if you'll stay grounded, regardless of what's thrown at you. Here's the thing: when you're emotionally strong, you don't react. You don't get defensive. You don't chase for reassurance. Instead, you stay calm and steady. You listen to her challenge, but you don't let it shake your sense of self. You might disagree, but you do it respectfully. Not with arrogance, but with confidence in your own beliefs. When you pass these subtle tests, when you stay grounded, smile, and keep your energy intact, she feels safe with you. She knows you won't fold in tough situations, and that creates an unshakable bond. But if you fail the test, if you get defensive, overreact, or start chasing her approval, the attraction fades, and once that happens, it's hard to get back. So here's your key takeaway: stay grounded, keep your energy, smile through the pressure, and never let someone else's behavior shake your self-worth. That's how you pass the test. Every time. Number 8, rejection doesn't faze the high-value man. Let's talk about something every man faces at some point: rejection. It's something that most men fear. They fear it so much, in fact, that it starts dictating their behavior. They hold back, play it safe, or even change who they are just to avoid the possibility of rejection. But confident men, they don't fear rejection. They embrace it. Because here's the secret: when you truly know your value, one person's opinion doesn't define your worth. If a woman turns you down, it doesn't make you any less of a man. It just means she's not the right fit for you. And that's perfectly okay. The key? Handling rejection with grace and confidence. When you get rejected, don't take it personally. Don't let it mess with your emotional state. Instead, smile. Say, "No worries," and move on. This kind of response, one where you handle rejection without losing your energy, is incredibly attractive. Why? Because it signals that you're not desperate, you're abundant, and abundance is rare. It shows you're okay on your own. You're not chasing approval. You're fine whether she says yes or no. And here's the ultimate paradox: the more you stop fearing rejection, the more you'll stop chasing. And when you stop chasing, that's when women will start chasing you. It's a shift in mindset, from scarcity to abundance, from seeking validation to simply being who you are. And that level of confidence, it's magnetic. Number 9, mystery triggers. Obsession. Let's face it, curiosity is one of the strongest human drivers, and when it comes to attraction, mystery is one of the most potent tools at your disposal. If a woman knows exactly how you feel at all times, or if she can predict your every move, what's left for her to chase? Nothing. Attraction thrives on curiosity, and curiosity thrives on mystery. This doesn't mean you should play mind games or act distant just for the sake of it. It means that you don't need to give everything away right away. You don't have To be an open book, you don't need to spill all your emotions on the table. What you do need is to respond at your own pace. You need to share selectively. You need to keep a bit of your emotional independence while still being connected. When you're just a bit hard to read in a respectful way, it keeps things exciting. She's left wondering, what's he really about? And that curiosity, that's what will make her think about you more than anyone else. When a woman is trying to figure you out, it creates a sense of obsession. She'll start to wonder what you're thinking. She'll replay your conversations in her mind. She'll find herself wanting to know more, wanting to get closer. Why? Because mystery creates the need to chase, and chase is what keeps attraction alive. So, create some intrigue. Don't make yourself an open book. Let her peel back the layers, one by one, until she can't help but be drawn to you. Number 10. A man who masters his desires masters the game. If you want to master attraction, there's one ultimate trigger you need to understand: self-control. Most men are ruled by their urges. They chase women, they crave validation, and they let lust override their logic. But here's where the real strength lies. The men who flip the script, the ones who choose discipline over desperation, are the ones who hold all the power. Think about it. When you're selective about who you let into your life, when you don't settle for anyone who comes along, you're already standing apart from the crowd. When you can say no to temptations that don't align with your values, you show a level of strength that's rare and magnetic. Living life on purpose, not by impulse, immediately sets you apart from the majority. It's not about being perfect. It's about choosing your desires carefully. It's about holding yourself to a higher standard. Women are drawn to men who don't need anything from them. They're drawn to the men who choose them, but never chase them. And here's the real kicker. The moment you stop chasing, you'll watch attraction shift. You'll watch women become curious, become invested, become drawn to the strength of your control. Why? Because the men who have self-control over their desires, who understand that true power comes from discipline, are the ones who command attention. Attraction isn't about tricks. It's about self-awareness. When you build confidence, emotional stability, purpose, and self-respect, women don't just notice you, they pursue you. If this helped you shift your mindset, hit that like button and subscribe to Stoicism for more insight on mastering yourself and your relationships. Until next time, stay grounded, stay focused, and never chase.